What's going on, guys? It's Tony K with Urban Girl Scout Media, living the dream as always, and today, coming in to talk about Space Jam: A New Legacy. It's July 17th, the movie just came out yesterday, and of course I was going to watch it the day it came out, not only because I have HBO Max, but because I grew up on the original Space Jam. So today's video will not have spoilers in it. I'll do my absolute best to only talk about things that we knew from the trailers, and we'll go from there. Of course, if you guys like the content, like, comment, subscribe, share, do whatever you can. Those clicks mean the world. And remember, I make a ton of content on a ton of different social medias. You can buy original artwork from me on Etsy under the seller's name Codpiece and Dewberry. You can support me on TikTok, Tumblr, YouTube, and Facebook under the name Urban Girl Scout Media. But enough of me asking for help. Let's talk about Space Jam: A New Legacy. So, the too long didn't listen, let's get it out of the way at the beginning is, this movie needs to be reviewed on its own. It cannot and should not be compared to the original Space Jam. It is not better than the original Space Jam, both because it's trying to recreate what the original one did, but also, I just don't think overall it was as good. But that's not to say that, boys and girls, this movie doesn't deserve a watch. And I'm going to tell you, there was some good, there was some bad, and there was some uncomfortable. Let's talk about the bad. The bad is, I think that there is a pressure on this new movie to do something similar but different, original but recreate what the first Space Jam did. And that's a hard spot to be in, but that also seems to be where LeBron James has spent most of his career, in the shadow of Michael Jordan, who had done something similar before him. So with that in mind, I'll tell you, the bad is the things I believe they attempted to set themselves apart and make this a little bit more original, I didn't really care for. I felt like there was a few poorly executed things within the movie. Most notably is the fact that in the original Space Jam, we get more outside star power. Think about that. Nothing against John Cheadle in this one, but we had NBA players that were really part of the movie. We had Larry Bird, as well as Bill Murray, and the assistant to Michael Jordan in the original Space Jam. So there was this whole, dare I say, ensemble around Michael that helped him become even better than he was. Maybe kind of like his career. He had a great group of people around him, and that's when you really shine. You can't do it on your own. I also felt like the Looney Tunes were more prominently featured as a property of Warner Brothers in that first Space Jam. Here in this second one, the Looney Tunes are in it, don't get me wrong, and they're in it a lot. But Warner Brothers owns a lot of properties, and they made sure to have tons of cameos. To the point where my only other real bad is it is a little overwhelming, although I guess it could be considered a reason to watch the movie again, but it's a little overwhelming to try and catch everything. And I do mean everything. There's a lot of cameos. A lot of Warner Brothers properties involved in this movie. Now, that's not to say that they don't have some cool properties that they can highlight. I mean, think about it. Harry Potter, The Matrix. Those are both cameoed within this movie. I just think that Warner Brothers really wanted to display everything that they had access to. Your King Kong, your Iron Giant, stuff like that. And it was a lot. It was a lot. But despite that, guys, I gotta be honest, this movie wasn't as bad as I think a lot of people are anticipating it being. Now, again, don't go into it comparing this to the original Space Jam, because I think they both deserve their own independent appreciation. But I felt like the movie overall had some moments where I was legitimately laughing. They did poke fun at LeBron James. They definitely poke fun at the fact that he leaves teams. And I think Bugs Bunny even said at one point, "Watch out, LA." or maybe it was Don Cheadle. One of the two of them makes a joke about watch out Lakers. Things like that. Just like in the first one, there's a few family members. There's supposed to be LeBron's family in the show or in the movie, and I don't feel like they did bad. I don't believe it's his real family. Overall, I felt like they were good for what they needed to do. His son in the movie, Dominique, I really liked the character, the way that they handled it with him. I really liked the way that they created the dynamic between LeBron and Dominique. It was nice. So, overall, I would say the original Space Jam is a 3.5, maybe a 3 out of 5. Okay? This one's a 2 out of 5 at best. It does deserve a watch. It does deserve some appreciation, but even Bugs Bunny makes a joke, sounds kind of familiar. They do make some references to the original Space Jam. Not many. I think maybe 2 or 3 total. There's a Michael Jordan cameo. Things like that. I thought the movie was a 2 out of 5. I'll probably watch it again. First off, it is free on HBO Max for the next 30 days. Second is, it is a decent movie. And my major knocks are true, without giving spoiler information away, just structure of what's frustrating. LeBron James tries very hard to be a good actor. I'm not saying he's not trying. I am saying it's not his strength. If we just went based on individual performances, I think Michael's was a little bit better than LeBron's, just in terms of an NBA player acting. This also isn't LeBron's first movie, so I expect a little bit better. Don Cheadle definitely helped carry the acting chops here. I don't like how much there was from Warner Brothers in this. Way too many properties that they owned involved in this, that it became a lot. It became a lot. And they brought out like the big red furry Looney Tune. I can't remember his name now. Jeez. But they brought him in. He wasn't as much in the original. Like they did some things differently. Daffy Duck is a coach. They did some things differently that I really liked. And they even turned LeBron into a cartoon in the movie, which I really liked. I like that twist. I like that original addition that they brought to it. But again, just so much from Warner Brothers. Like they threw everything they possibly could at you. Like at one point, Granny, the old grandma, is in the Matrix. It's absurd. Porky Pig, you get a little rap from him. He can drop some bars. Okay, he can drop some bars. And there's a lot. There's a lot to it. But overall, I think it was really good. Definitely some corny moments, just like in the original, where you have that kind of, there's moments for the adults and there's moments for the kids. And there's moments for the kids who are a little more mature, and there's moments for the adults who are a little bit more of a child at heart. There's good stuff here for new to the Space Jam world. There's good stuff here for if you saw the movie before. Hell, the original Monstars actually make a cameo in this movie. That's right. They do. There's a lot of cameos. So like I said, overall, I'm going to give it a 2.5, maybe a 2 out of 5. And I'm not using that as a score compared to the original. I'm just stating my original got a score of 3.5 or 3 out of 5, just because of all of the different components in terms of originality, in terms of star power, in terms of what they accomplished, in terms of supporting cast. I mean, even in this one, like the NBA and WNBA players like Sue Bird, I can't remember the other girl's name, the other WNBA player, but then they have Anthony Davis, Damian Lillard, and Klay Thompson as the NBA players. And, you know, the original, there was more involvement of the actual real person Not so much in this one. So it's there's some differences that make it both unique, and then I'll leave it really open to how you feel about. Well, I think a lot of this is going to come down to if you are old man get off my lawn, which I have a couple of friends who were doing that. They were going to be old man get off my lawn when it comes to this movie. I don't think you're going to enjoy the movie. If you're coming in and saying, well, LeBron's just trying to steal Michael Jordan's stuff, and he's just yada yada, and oh, LeBron's trash, and if you're coming into this movie with that mindset, don't waste your time. If you're coming into this movie just looking to have a good time, maybe get a little nostalgia, go back to your childhood, I think this is a good movie, and I definitely think that if you like the original Space Jam, and you can get out of your emotions about LeBron versus Michael, there is some enjoyment value to this movie. So like I said, I'll leave it at a 2. I'll leave it at a 2 out of 5. I don't normally rank movies that I suggest watching at a 2. But this one, I think, just it deserves the watch at least once. That being said, I don't want to spoil too much more. I don't want to give away anything. I don't want to give away all the cameos because there is a couple of them I specifically did not bring up just to allow people to be surprised. I'll leave you guys with this. They have left it open for the sequel. They have left it open for another Space Jam. Using the same story, using the same setup. So there's a lot of stuff laid down where doesn't have to be a critical success. It just has to be a commercial success, and I think we'll get another one. So we'll see what happens. Tell me what you guys think. Sound off in the comments. Like I said, I enjoyed this movie, but I've been looking forward to this. I'm one of those people that I wanted to get another Space Jam. When they announced a couple years ago that LeBron had considered doing this, I really thought that it was a good idea because, like, I look at this in the same vein as the new Jurassic Parks that have been coming out. I don't really compare them. Like, we can rank them in terms of which ones are better from an all-time perspective, but I don't really look at one and compare it to the original trilogy. I don't compare them much. The same thing with the Star Wars. Like, the newer Star Wars versus the original 3, or those 3 in the middle. I don't, like, we can rank them all day, but I don't really like to compare them because there's so many differences when you start looking into it. So, yeah. Hopefully you guys get to check the movie out and you enjoy it. My name is Tony K. This is Urban Girl Scout Media, living the dream as always. And we just gave you Space Jam, A New Legacies review. See you guys next time.